It all starts with heart. 500,000 people are changing their lives every day with Anytime Fitness. That's 500,000 hearts beating as one. Join them. From cardio to strength, free weights to functional, all Anytime Fitness clubs contain the most up-to-date equipment that suits all fitness levels and any workout goal. With your Anytime Fitness membership, you have access to our clubs all over the world. Get your fitness fix 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wherever you are, anywhere, anytime. Whether you train at 5 p.m. or 3 a.m, your safety is our top priority. All of our clubs have 24-hour security monitoring and secure key access, as well as private bathrooms and changing rooms. So what are you waiting for? For more information or to join the Anytime movement, pop into the Highton, Leopold, Drysdale, Torquay or Ocean Grove gyms. Visit our Geelong City gym at its new location of 140 Mirabel Street or text your name to 0477 225 518 and our membership consultant will get back to you. Anytime Fitness. Looking after your health and fitness, anytime, anywhere.
Good evening, folks. It's time to get fit. It's time to get moving. And a big thank you to Anytime Fitness. My name is Tonci Prusak and joining me Steve Curtin. And you are tuning in, folks, to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Good evening, Steve. How are you, mate? Busy start to the week.
Yeah. No, it always is these days. Busy weekend goes straight into a busy start to the week, doesn't it? But we wouldn't have it any other way, I guess. Yeah, good day here today. The sun eventually came out. Freezing morning in Geelong, though, of course. Not the warmest, but kept ourselves warm. And looking forward to tonight's show. Lots to talk about. And Santino's already very active in the comments. He's pretty excited about Marco Roas getting called up for the All Whites. But there's some exciting World Cup playoffs to come up once the A-League season's finished in June. So there's lots to look forward to, and the European season finishing up. The Champions League final this weekend as well for the men's after the women's took place on the weekend. Oh, lots happening, mate. How are you?
Lots happening. And Santino, as always, a great supporter of the show. And please do what Santino's done. He's tagged a few people in as well. What's the word? Forward this link on to people that you know. Put it in your status update. Let everybody know because we are lucky here in Geelong, Steve. Not too many centres, not too many cities around Australia actually have their own football news podcast. And we do our best every week, try and bring you all the interesting stories, all the latest stories, latest news as well. And there is a lot happening in Geelong. In fact, there's always a lot happening when you want to look for the news. Tonight, we're going to really celebrate one of those good news stories when we have a man who is just iconic around the Geelong football community. Everyone seems to know him. He's a giant of a man despite his short stature. But Barwon Soccer Club senior men's coach Dale Harris will be joining us a little later on to, continue his celebration, Steve. Over the weekend, he coached Barwon for I guess it must be a record, 100 games, consecutive games. And in this day and age of coaches experiencing volatility and frequent turnovers, even during the course of a season, that's Absolutely. Not a bad effort, hey?
No, it's very good, and he's such a well-liked character. He's always got a smile on his face, and no one's got a bad thing to say about Dale. Everything's good, and he's very good at attracting quality young players to a club. Even though they're in State 5, he gets some really good talent down there, and it's paying off because they're flying in State League 5 up top end of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to go through a heap of it. Well, look, we've got the news desk. There's so much to talk about, local and international news. We've got a massive, massive roundup of all the weekend's action. And then on top of that, to complete the whole puzzle, we've got Dale Harris joining us in probably, I reckon, in about half an hour's time. So, folks, don't go away. We'll be back right after this, and we are looking forward to tonight's show. I hope you are as well.
Well, time to jump into the news desk, Tonci, and number one on our agenda tonight is the A-League Grand Final. It's taking place next Saturday night. It is Melbourne City hosting Western United. I've got the scarves on the door behind me here. There's the graphic there. Tickets went on sale today, and from what I can see, they're not the cheapest, but they are selling quite quickly actually so far for the ones that are available.
Yeah.
So certainly,
as you can see on the screen, I was going to say at 11 o'clock it was members pre-sale, and then tickets went on sale to the general public at 5 o'clock. But do we have any figures or anything like that? Do we know roughly how many people have turned up?
Oh no, it'd be a little bit of a crystal ball at the moment, but yeah, looking at the home base for both teams, it looks like there's a substantial amount of seats already sold in those ends there, and they're sort of gradually opening up more sections as it goes. So, of course, the top sections on the wings are not up for sale yet, amongst a couple of other areas too. But yeah, we'll see, and hopefully it's a good crowd and an even better match. And we saw really good semi-finals, and actually Western United have packaged up on their social channels a really good video that encapsulates the emotion of the 90 minutes from Saturday night. It's and it finishes off with the crescendo, which is the big team photo with all the fans as the backdrop, and it looks amazing. And if it doesn't get you up and about and excited for the grand final this weekend, nothing will.
Now, last night on the Football Out West show, Steve, joining us and Craig Filer was Chris Palavanis, the Chief Executive Officer of Western United, and the versatile midfield utility, let's call him that because he can play all sorts of positions. Neil Kilkenny also joined us. So go onto the Football Out West show YouTube channel or the Facebook page there and catch those interviews. The one with Neil in particular was fantastic. He was just a breath of fresh air to listen to a player who'd played abroad and played in England for near on 10 years and elsewhere, and had played at several other clubs around Australia, Melbourne City, namely, and Perth Glory. His views on what needs to be done and what can be done in Australian football, but especially the issue of promotion relegation, which you don't hear players often talking about. You hear the journos, you hear the administrators, you hear the fans, but not often the players. And he had a really, really good reasoning behind it. So don't do yourself a favour. Jump onto the Football Out West show Facebook page or the YouTube channel and catch last night's interviews. Steve, EPL, we can't go without mentioning the EPL, can we?
Yeah, big night of results and a little bit of drama. Man City going behind to Aston Villa. Of course, Steven Gerrard, the Liverpool legend, coaching Aston Villa. 3 goals in 5 minutes. 3 goals in 5 minutes for Manchester City. Saw them turn it around and make sure that they hung on to win by just the 1 point there. But a good effort to turn it around and get the job done there. And the Liverpool fans, a little bit commiserations there, a point behind, but they're still looking at a good chance of winning 3 titles this season with the Champions League coming up this Sunday morning. And Leeds, a lot of Leeds fans in Geelong and in Victoria, of course, so they'll be happy because a sensational finish to their game, and they managed to get up and send Burnley down. So good to see Leeds stay up. They've brought so much to the Premier League in the last couple of years through Bielsa, and now with the American Jesse Marsch as well as a bit of a point of difference. So I think it's a good thing to see Leeds up, and Everton had a bit of a scary one up until last week when they were eventually safe. But one of the teams, or the team that's been in the top tier for longer than anyone, nearly were waving goodbye.
And that's the beauty of that promotion relegation, isn't it? I did see some footage this earlier today of a second division game, or a team in Croatia in the second division, and they haven't escaped relegation yet. They've still 1 round to go, but they're likely now to escape relegation because they've got a game against the bottom side, and the team just slightly above them on points has got a game, I think, against the second top side or the top side. And they were celebrating. You thought it was like a championship win. Yeah. It was not. It was only the penultimate round. But by winning, they've given themselves an opportunity to survive the drop into the third division. And that's what promotion relegation does. it provides so much excitement, not just at the top of the competition standings, but at the bottom as well. We'll be looking at promotion and relegation candidates later on when we take a look at the local league roundup. But great stuff. Mate, let's move along. There's so much to get through.
Yeah, a bit of good news for a former Geelong Galaxy coach this week. Exciting news, actually, because Kat Smith has been appointed the Western Sydney Wanderers A-League women's coach. And this is a really good, and I think it will be a popular appointment as well for Kat moving into Parramatta there, because, well, there's too many A-League women's clubs that are coached, by the fellas, and it's time that we saw more women in the head coaching roles. And Kat is certainly someone who's more than qualified to do this role, and I think it's going to be exciting to watch what sort of football that the Wanderers play in the A-League Women's next season when it kicks off, and be very excited to see how she goes.
Kat Smith oversaw a period of Geelong Galaxy's short history when they were in the NPLW competition. I think she even got them to the grand final one year. I think it was around about 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So very, very high credential coach. I think it's something like Janikin Simon Pillay, who used to live in Geelong, now lives up in Sydney, wrote a great article about Kat. And I think he said she's the only female football coach that has a pro license in Australia. And that's saying something. Yeah. So, this is a great appointment. And look, she used Galaxy United as a stepping stone. So that's great news as well. That some of the coaches that have coached at our clubs have gone on to bigger and better things as well in the, I was going to say the W League, but it's now called the A-League Women's. So that is great news. Another piece of great news, Steve, is the TAC, local organisation.
Yeah, big employer in town.
Yes, big employer now. They're becoming a big sponsor as well of football. This is great. This is another great news story.
Yeah, they're going to be sponsoring the country championships, which are coming up, really, really soon now, aren't they, in Geelong?
A couple of weeks' time.
After 2 years of them being cancelled, and we get to have them this year. It's fantastic, and really well done to the TAC for getting on board a really big name sponsor for this big name tournament.
Yeah, so the TAC logo will be displayed on the Geelong boys front of shirt, and TAC will be providing various road safety messages prior to, during, and after the tournament to benefit all 4,000 participants. And remembering, I think it's the Port of Geelong are sponsoring all the girls teams, and now we've got a major sponsor for the boys teams as well. Now, in 2 weeks' time, folks, we will be doing a very, very special country championships preview show. We will have some very, very important guests coming on the show that night, including GRFC chairman Mike McKinstry as well. It'll be great to have Mike McKinstry on board that show. That's going to happen in a couple of weeks' time. But before then, another charitable. We've had some fantastic charitable stories, but now this one is coming from Barwon Soccer Club. Steve, tell us a bit more about this one.
Yeah, this one is no exception as well. Now, Adam Leather, as you can see there, he's well known for his flowing, can we call him flowing? His dreadlocks. Yeah. He's going to be shaving them off for charity, World's Greatest Shave, and you can get on there and donate. I'm sure there's some there's some links on the Barwon Soccer Club Facebook page there. So well played, Mitts, as they say there. Adam Leather's been scoring a few goals this season as well. I think he scored a hat-trick a couple of weeks ago. Now he's scoring goals off the field as well, so well done to him. And get over there and donate.
Hopefully he will. Well, his teammates certainly won't. Will be hoping that he's not like the biblical character Samson. Once he got his hair cut off, that he lost all his powers. I'm sure Mitzi will be banging them in long after he's had his hair cut. Great story, fantastic. And our guest later tonight, the Barwon coach Dale Harris, who will be joining us after I think after 8:30 thereabouts or something like that. He will be able to probably give us a little bit more information about that, because there is nothing at Barwon nothing that Dale doesn't know that happens at Barwon. So I'm sure he'll be giving us lots of information. Now, before we move on to the roundup, the following is a bit of a birthday greeting to someone. It's one of our donors, a sponsor, in fact. He doesn't really like to be acknowledged too much, but Manningham Cleaning Products is one of our sponsors behind the scenes. They don't really want that acknowledgement, but the company director of Manningham Cleaning Supplies had his 50th birthday today. So Tom Skotnicker, whose family is very, very well known around Geelong football circles. All his kids play football somewhere. Nicholas at the moment is in Europe, training over there and hoping to trial in the coming off season. We've got young Noah there, plays for South Melbourne, used to play at North Geelong. We've got the girls, Hannah and Zoe. I always get them mixed up. I think it's Zoe's playing now at Galaxy. Hannah's at the Victorian NTC. But
Wow.
good on the Skotnicker family. But happy birthday to their patriarch, Tom. He's 50 today, and I'm sure he's going to get a little bit embarrassed by this. But I'm sure a lot of people know the Skotnickers, very well respected in Geelong football circles, and a happy 50th birthday to him.
Absolutely. Right. Hopefully he's celebrating in style by sitting back and just tuning into the program.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we're going to have a very, very quick break. When we return, it's time for the weekend roundup, and we're going to start with the NPL competition. Folks, don't go away. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, Steve. Let's get straight into the week roundup, and we'll start off with the NPL.
Yeah, NPL 2, we had the Barwon Lions hosting North Geelong Warriors. We've got some footage on the screen there. A thrilling comeback for North Geelong. They got 2 late goals to get the 3-2 win and get all the 3 points there. John Pikett, Caleb Mikulich, Ryan Opperman with the goals, and it sets up, there's one of the ones they conceded there to the Barwon Lions, sets up a thrilling match next weekend against Moreland City, first versus second at Alco Park. Moreland City got over Pascoe Vale on the weekend, 3-1. So there it is there, a genuine top-of-the-table clash, and I expect that there will be a decent crowd out for this one out at Alco Park at 3 o'clock this coming Saturday afternoon. This is real business time here because we're reaching the halfway mark of the season, and these clubs are within a real shot of getting promoted to the top tier of Victorian football, and it'd be pretty exciting to have that back in Geelong if North are able to get over the line in the second half of the season.
It must be said that North Geelong this year are playing a wonderfully attacking brand of football. John Pikett there scoring. He was on fire. He was responsible for the second goal, which is a penalty. I think it's coming up now. But he's been in absolute flying form, as has Caleb Mikulich, the league's top scorer. He scored 11 goals, but he's not the region's highest goal scorer. That honour belongs to Milton Bailey from Barwon Soccer Club. I think he scored 14 or 15 goals so far this season, and we'll find out a little bit more about what Milton is doing. But the other thing about this weekend, Steve, it is a reunion round. And what North Geelong are doing, they're inviting all their past players, sponsors, committee members, what you're not, to come along and sort of catch up on old times and, and just basically sort of, I guess, promoting this fixture. Now, the fact that this is a first versus second clash, you can expect there's going to be a big crowd at Alco Park on Saturday. That's at 3 p.m. But there possibly could be some changes made to the NPL 3 game this weekend involving Geelong Soccer Club. Tell us more.
Yeah, you'd think so. Geelong Soccer Club is scheduled to host Western United this Saturday night at 6 o'clock. It would be a little bit strange to expect Western United's NPL side to have to play at the same time as their senior sides in an A-League grand final, and I'm sure Geelong Soccer Club wouldn't mind in bringing that fixture a little earlier than the scheduled time of 6 o'clock. So the word is, Tonci, that we're hearing, or is it might be a 2 p.m. kickoff instead for that
Well,
one?
I did briefly speak to football director Steve Tonci earlier today. He did say we are likely to move the game forward. We can't confirm at this stage, exactly what time. He was suggesting possibly as early as a 2 p.m. kickoff. They looked at the idea of possibly having a Friday night game at Stead Park, but there's already a function pre-booked in the clubhouse. So it's likely that game will definitely be moved forward. Whether it's going to be a 3 p.m. or a 2 p.m. kickoff, well, we'll probably find out very, very shortly in the next, I'd say, day or two. But this also brings this is an interesting point. Now, it also, I guess, there are other games as well that are going to be kicking later on at later times, not necessarily involving Geelong clubs. I think there may be one or two, but all around Melbourne. And you'd think Football Victoria would do something because, as we were told last night on the Football Outward show, it's the first time, Steve, since 1998 that the national competition has had an all Melbourne grand final. So it would be a absolute
back in the days of Carlton Soccer Club, we're talking that long ago. So
South Melbourne, Carlton, and South Melbourne. Yeah, exactly. Moving along now to state league action. Let's look at the it was State 2 and State 1.
Yeah, so we had mixed results here. Cryo losing 2-0 at home to Sydenham Park. They will go on and play at Altona City in one of those games that will clash with the A-League Grand Final at Kim Reserve. That's scheduled for 6 o'clock as it stands, unless something we don't know and it's moved forward. But another one of those examples that we talked about. But this weekend was really good news for Geelong Rangers because they got their first win of the season. And not only did they win, they won 3-0 against Western Suburbs. Cole Hamilton with a double and Jackson Plummer also on the score sheet. So all of a sudden they're looking great, and you were there as well.
Yes, I was. I watched the majority of this game. I had to leave around about the 65th minute or something like that because I was involved with the commentary of the Galaxy game. But I missed Colin Hamilton's third goal. He scored 2, provided the first one. And look, brilliant play by the veteran. It was a very physical game at times. In the early stages, a very physical Western Suburbs just knocked over the Rangers players. But then the Rangers players, when you got Ronnie Clayson, veteran, at the back, and then you've also got Cole Hamilton up the front. And then you got Ryan Calder. Who else we got across the midfield that played really, really well? Name escapes me right now. But look, there you go. Look, real tough action. And if you want to see some bone punching
stuff there,
Jackson Plummer did really well, the youngster as well.
Good on Jackson.
If you want to watch some real old-fashioned, hard-nosed, aggressive football, you definitely want to go out and watch State 2, State 4 even. It's quite entertaining. I was disappointed with the crowd, but then again, I realised Geelong football, that other
Cats were
playing. They were playing around about the same time, so that probably had a big impact on the crowd. But well done to everyone up there at Rangers. Steve Tillinger is doing a good job with a small. A very young squad as well. We did mention some of the veterans, but there's a lot of young players in that squad as well. So, look, this is their first win, and hopefully this is the start of many. And, look, hopefully they'll be able to slowly move up the ladder. And they're still in that dreaded relegation zone, Steve. But, those 3 points were valuable, and hopefully that may spark something in the next few weeks.
Yeah, tricky game against Altona East Phoenix this weekend, this Saturday, Arvo. But, they might take some confidence out of that, and they should, because they did well.
Yeah. Okay, State 4.
State 4, well, we had one good result here. Surf Coast 3-0 winners over Greenvale United. Brod Von Bernstein, Jasko Ivanovic, and Jack Banks all found the back of the net as the Coasters picked up 3 points. It wasn't such good news for Bell Park, who lost at home to Westside Strikers Caroline Springs 3-0, and Golden Plains also losing at home 2-0 to the Truganina Hornets. So we have got a derby game next week, and there's a good chance for one of those two sides to get a win because Bell Park will be hosting Golden Plains this Saturday at the Bell Park Sports Club at 3 o'clock. That is the Midland Highway derby, as it were. So I'm sure we'll get a bit of a crowd at that game too. And it's a good place to watch football from the Bell Park Sports Club. Make no mistake. Surf Coast, they're on the road to play Laverton. We always talk about Laverton being a tricky place to go to the Lavo Recreation Reserve and play the South American-backed club. And if they can get a point, that's probably a good result. If they can get a win, a really good result.
Yeah, it's a must-win game for Surf Coast. They're on the road, and look, if you call those games 6-pointers, don't you? Like if they win this, they'll stay within pecking distance of the top 3, or top 4 really. And remembering in this division, it's a very tough division. It's only the top team that automatically goes through. The second team then enters, I think, a series of playoffs and what you're not. But it's a very hard division to get out of. But Surf Coast, if they want to really entertain the thought of being promotional candidates, this is a game they need to win. Now, we're hoping to get actually Surf Coast on the show next week.
Yep.
So, there's the impetus, there's the incentive to the Coasters. Win so that we can have a really good positive program on next week. But it should be a really, really interesting one, that's for sure.
Definitely. Let's look at State League 5, where there was a good result for a couple of the clubs there. Barwon defeating Ballarat 4-3, so a bit of a thriller there, and another 2 goals to Christian Marn and 2 to Milton Bailey. So keeping the pressure on or trying to run away with it at the top of the league at the moment, Barwon in State 5. Deakin Uni, they had a 2-0 win, 2 goals from Marcus Lindeberg, 2-0 over the Surfside Waves. Lara hosted Melton Phoenix and went down 4-1. Scott Treblecock with the only goal for the Navy Blues there in that particular one. So next weekend, it sets up some interesting clashes. Barwon is away to Maidstone United. Surfside will host Wyndham FC. Lara is away at West Point, and the Ducks are away at Ballarat. So no derbies in State League 5 next week for our Geelong clubs, which is almost a rarity these days, Tonci. So
yeah, it doesn't happen often, does it? Yeah.
No.
As we can see, the ladder, the top 2 teams, Barwon and Melton, have really, really started to sort of pull away from the pack. But our own Deakin Ducks, they're there in 3rd place, and they're starting to hit their straps. They're starting to hit some really, really good form. And I think they will be in a situation now where I think they're looking good. We're entering the halfway mark of the season, and if Barwon can keep on winning, unlike State 4, I think the top 2 in State 5 do move on to State 4. So this is a competition where you really want to just get away from the pack. But this will be the halfway mark of the season. It's so hard to believe that it's gone so quick, but that is exactly what's happening at the moment.
Yeah, it's flying by, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, do we need to take a quick break, or we carry on?
I think so. We're going to take a very, very short break. When we return, we're going to look at the State League Women's, the VPLW, as well as all the local leagues. Don't go away, folks. It's episode 83 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, Steve. Let's get straight into it. The women and VPLW.
VPLW. This was not a good weekend for the Galaxy. They lost to Preston Lions in the double header at Hume Reserve by a bit of a cricket score, 8-1. M. Sutcliffe got the only goal of the game. So I guess they won't want us to dwell on this match for too long. So we'll look at their next fixture, which is coming up this Sunday at Hume Reserve, where it is Geelong Galaxy hosting the Melbourne Knights, and a good chance to bounce back, I think, against the Knights. And here's a little bit of footage from Hume Reserve on Saturday. It looks like there's a bit of a crowd that gathered there too, and we might see
And this is
Em
Emily
Sutcliffe's goal here.
Sutcliffe's goal. Yep, in the 91st minute, she stops props, turns around, pokes it.
Oh,
there was a decent sort of a
good
crowd.
goal.
I think it was a very cold night. A lot of people were inside the lavish new Karaya club rooms. They were hiding away from the cold. But actually, it was a perfect night for football. It was cold, but there was no wind. I had the privilege of calling this game, and we desperately need a scaffold. A proper a commentary tower at Hume Reserve. I was talking to a couple of the people there, one of the major sponsors, Tamara Gregorio. Big shout out to the folks out at Barwon Soccer Club. We desperately need it because we had to improvise, and one of Branko Kristevski's former Galaxy president, one of his mates had a ute. So the cameraman was up on the ute, and I was commentating at ground level. And Steve, we all know what it's like commentating from ground level. Not the best vantage point, is it?
Yeah, we did that about 9 days ago at Werribee, and it wasn't too flash as well, especially when the camera's also at ground level too in that case, and you just see the linesman's back for most of the game. Well, if you need a scaffold erected quickly, Craig Filer, you need to give that guy a call because he worked some wonders at Green Gully Reserve last weekend in record time. Now, let's look at the Women's State League 1 Northwest, where North Geelong Warriors suffered defeat at the hands of the Essendon Royals, 3-1. Louisa Kump getting the only goal in that one. So a little bit of a blow for North Geelong there in the women's after a pretty good run before that. So they're looking to bounce back this weekend, where they're going to be playing Elwood City, who currently sit dead last without a point on the table. That's at the Elwood Park Esplanade, and that is a very nice place to go and play a game of football, might I say.
Is that right? There we go. Well, this is certainly going to be a very nice place to play football if North Geelong can come home with all 3 points. And you're looking at Elwood's record: 5 games, 5 losses, 1 goal scored, 26 goals conceded. I think you don't want to say, all right, there's the 3 points before we've even played there. You can't underestimate any team, but certainly on this occasion, North Geelong look like they should bounce back to winning ways and capture all 3 points. Moving on to State 2 and State 3, Steve.
Well, this is where the good news starts to roll in, because Lara United defeated Port Melbourne 4-0. Ella Poglaze, Jara Davey, Izzy Wilkinson and Jess Kenyon all found the back of the net as they got the job done there in a good home win, and they're getting ready to play Spring Hills this Sunday at 1 o'clock, also at Lara. And the good weekend for Geelong Rangers continued as well, because they defeated North Melbourne Athletic at Myers Reserve 6-0. Danny Mandich with a double, Sophie Amota, Felicia Johannesson and Bridget McDermott all found the back of the net, and they will travel to Ardea Reserve this Sunday afternoon at 3 to play Westgate. And Westgate are sitting in 8th place on the table, so a good chance to pick up 3 points there for Rangers as well, and they're going along very nicely in their first season in the state competition.
Yeah, they've got a game in hand against Point Cook. That was a washed-out Friday night fixture from about 3-4 weeks ago. So that's another game you'd think that they should win. Now, assuming that they do win that game in hand against Point Cook, even with a 1-0 scoreline, that will catapult the Rangers into top spot, overtaking Avondale on goal difference. Big game against Westgate, even though Westgate have only won 1 and lost 3. It's one of those must-win games. And if the Rangers really want to entertain the idea of promotion in their first year, and what a great achievement that would be, they really, really need to ensure that they capture 3 points in both those fixtures, and to really ensure that they're up near the top of the competition standings. Altona East, they've been starting to collect some points in recent weeks. Caroline Springs, George Cross, the same. They've only lost 1 apiece. Avondale at the moment remain undefeated, but a really interesting competition developing there uh, in the State 3. But now let's turn our attention to the women's competition locally, Steve. Three interesting games played two interesting games played over the weekend. One was postponed.
Yeah, Drysdale and Geelong Rangers didn't take place, but Surf Coast and the Deakin Ducks did, and that was a high scorer. Surf Coast 3, Deakin Ducks 7. So for Surf Coast, Annika van der Woerder, and she scored a double, and Jade Feeks with a single. For the Ducks, Alexandria Wolf a hat-trick, Hannah Gordon a double, Madison Jones and Meg Reuters also found the back of the net, and Barwon defeated Geelong 1-0, bit of a lower score, so we had a high-scoring and a low-scoring game. And Barwon's goal was scored by Brianna Talford. So that means next week's matches are all on Saturday Saturday morning is the first one, actually, 11:30 a.m. Set your alarms. Deakin Ducks Gold hosting Geelong at 1 o'clock. Drysdale hosting Surf Coast, and also Geelong Rangers hosting Barwon.
And in the men's competition, with all those games also played on the Sunday this time. Quite interesting that we didn't have any Friday night games. Bell Park defeated Elko Park Cardinals 5-2. Christian Davis and Noah Barker scored for the Cardinals. Bell Park, they did not submit their scorers, so
Mystery.
we don't know who scored there. In the second game, Surf Coast lost to FC Leopold. Which is quite, I think Surf Coast were top of the table, were they not? And they've,
that was the game of the round. Yeah, yep.
It was. Geronimo Acaval and Jamie Caldwell scored for the Coasters, and FC Leopold, they did not they didn't submit their goal scorers in time for our strict deadlines on a Monday morning. Barwon drew with Armstrong United 1-1. David Favetta scored for Barwon, Callan Garitzin for the Pelicans. And next week's games, Steve, we've got a couple of Friday night clashes.
Yeah, we do. Friday night at the earlier time of 6:30, Elko Park Cardinals versus Breakwater Eagles. And then at 7, it is FC Leopold hosting Barwon out at the Estuary Reserve. On Sunday at the Armstrong Creek venue there, the Pelicans are hosting Bell Park. Surf Coast get to have a week off for the A-League Grand Final weekend.
And there's the respective ladders of the two elite divisions of the men's and the women's local league competitions. Firstly, the men's, Barwon sitting pretty on top with 10 points from 4 games. But Leopold, they're really starting to pick up points. They are, in fact, undefeated.
Only played 3.
Yeah, they boosted by the off-season signing of former North Geelong Warriors captain Michael Anderson, who's joined his brother Nicholas Anderson there as well. And I think there's a couple of Michael Boyer, another ex-North Geelong player, is in the green squad. So they've got a very, very formidable team there, and they've accumulated 7 points from 3 games. Surf Coast now dropping to 3rd spot with 7 from 5, and then Bell Park making up the top 4 with 5 from 4. With the women's, Steve, let's have a look at the women's ladder.
Yeah, Deakin Ducks leading the way at the moment. They're going along pretty nicely on 10 points from their 5 games. Same for Barwon and same for Surf Coast. So it's a 3-horse race at the top there at the moment. Only 2 points behind them, Geelong, and then bringing up the rear, Drysdale on just the 1 point from their 4 games, as Geelong Rangers, no points from their 4 games.
And that brings us to the very end of our massive weekend roundup. Thank you so much for staying with us. I know it can get long and it can get tedious, but I guess it's just celebrating the fact that there is so much football happening in the region. And unfortunately, we don't cover the men's Division 2 or Division 3 of the local competition, or the women's Division 2, for a simple reason is the elite competition deserves a bit of billing. And so hopefully you can get your teams promoted up into Division 1, and next year we will cover them like we do the rest. Folks, let's take a break. When we return, it's time for our main guest tonight, a legend of a character around Geelong's football community. Everyone seems to know him. Everyone seems to like him, or at least that's what they say to his face. Our special guest coming up next week is Dale Harris, the Barwon Soccer Club senior men's coach, and we cannot wait to have a chat with him. Folks, hang around, and you are tuning in to the Geelong Region Soccer Show.
It all starts with heart. 500,000 people are changing their lives every day with Anytime Fitness. That's 500,000 hearts beating as one. Join them. From cardio to strength, free weights to functional, all Anytime Fitness clubs contain the most up-to-date equipment that suits all fitness levels and any workout goal. With your Anytime Fitness membership, you have access to our clubs all over the world. Get your fitness fix 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wherever you are, anywhere, anytime. Whether you train at 5 p.m. or 3 a.m, your safety is our top priority. All of our clubs have 24-hour security monitoring and secure key access, as well as private bathrooms and changing rooms. So what are you waiting for? For more information or to join the Anytime movement, pop into the Highton, Leopold, Drysdale, Torquay or Ocean Grove gyms. Visit our Geelong City gym at its new location of 140 Mirabel Street or text your name to 0477 225 518 and our membership consultant will get back to you. Anytime Fitness. Looking after your health and fitness, anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, and it's with great pleasure tonight, Tonci, that we announce and welcome on our guest for this evening. He's fresh off celebrating 100 games of coaching the Barwon Soccer Club, and his name is Dale Harris, and we'll get him up on the screen. Well, there's a picture of him. Look at that spread there in the media channels there, both digital and print media as well. Dale, how you going, and how'd you recover from the big 100 game milestone?
Hey guys, I was over the moon. Couldn't have asked for a better result. So happy, glad to have everyone.
Dale, let's show that little graphic there. Firstly, the club. We mentioned this. 5 years at any one club, 100 games consecutively. In this day and age of managers, coaches having a very, very short-lived existence at any one particular club. That's quite amazing. But as the advertiser article on Friday said, magic milestone for proud Barwon boss. I guess it goes two ways, isn't it? The club is very lucky to have you, but you consider yourself so very lucky and proud of the club that you're the coach at. First of all, how did it come about that you ended up at Barwon way back in, when was it, 2017?
Yeah, well, I was basically retired from coaching. I was just enjoying watching my son play because he was playing MPL at North. And Sean Mahan and Colin Drain nagged me. And eventually they convinced me to have a discussion with the committee. And that's our start off at the club, I guess.
Yeah, and what is it about Barwon and the people there that have kept you? There's a good picture there, as well with Dave Rea as well there. What is it that have kept you? That's kept you at Barwon and at Reserve Road this time? Because you've been there a little while now. Is it the people and the atmosphere?
It's a combination of everything. It's a combination of the support you get from the committee, both former president and current president Colin Drain and Dave Ray. They've just been instrumental in 90% of the achievements at the club, and the people, they are fantastic. They're very supportive. It's one big app, if we're totally honest, and the guys get around the guys, and we all support each other, we cheer each other, we share in each other's heartbreaking moments, and we all play for that one badge.
Now, before you coached Barwon, Dale, you had a stint at Lara United. You had also a stint at Geelong Rangers. But prior to that, when you first came to Australia back in 2009, there's the article there. Ballarat Red Devils, today Ballarat SC, they signed you up. But if you read that first paragraph, you're all set to take charge of Corio in the then Provisional League First Division. And the startly folks from Ballarat, they ended up snapping you. Does Corio president Mario Gregorio know about this? Because he wasn't involved in the club.
It wasn't that Corio. Wasn't that Corio. It was Corio Bay. I was new to the country. I didn't know which were the teams, so it was actually Corio Bay. Yeah, and then
they weren't in Provisional League One, were they?
No,
Oh, good to see.
no.
That's a bit different then. We're getting the facts right here on the Geelong Region Soccer Show. We're
amazing.
setting history straight, aren't we? It was
Yeah.
Corio Bay, not
That's it.
Corio. There you go.
Yeah.
But all jokes aside, mate, when you came to Geelong, you obviously had a stint at Rangers and then to Lara United. What are some of your fondest memories back in the day of firstly Geelong Rangers and then Lara?
Geelong Rangers, fantastic club. One of the strongest community-based clubs that I know of. They all really support each other. They get behind each other. It's very strong. The people there was the main draw card for me. Still is. I still got many friends. We still attend each other's birthdays. We play golf together. We really, a lot of us are still good mates. I'd say it was 100% the people at the club for me. The players were also extremely important to me, and most of them became mates of mine after our coaching and playing relationship. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now,
Lara United?
Oh, go on.
Sorry.
Lara, I was approached by Kieran Moore, and he was on the brink of retirement, and he was kind of getting me to go there, and he felt I'd be the right man for the job. And after speaking to Tony, who was present over there, I went over, had a look. I was impressed by the people, and I'm easy to please. Treat me right, and you should have. Yeah. Honestly speaking, it's all about how the relationships that you can build with the person. If you have the right treatment, I'll be happy, man. That's all.
Well, that's one thing, mate, that everyone, wherever you go, you've been involved with North Geelong, you've been involved with Lara, the Rangers, Barwon as well, and everyone seems to just, hold you in high regard, which is quite good, and not easy in Geelong. There's always someone that's got something against someone, whatever. But all jokes aside, that probably just shows everyone, the type of character that Dale Harris is. Congratulations on that and well done. Steve, you were going to say something?
I wanted to, something I don't know much about, your playing career, Dale, that was sadly cut short. I read about today in that same article. Do you want to talk a little bit about your memories of football back in South Africa and playing as well? And we hear you were a pretty handy player in your day.
I was, but I think I was born in the wrong era. I played at a very good level, decent level. It was pro back then. I had a semi-pro career as well. I played amateur. I was a starter in many teams, but like you were saying, coaches chop and change, and different coaches come in with different ideas. And back then, the tall striker was a handyman, and on the ground ball didn't really exist much. So my career kind of took a dip. But my fondest memories are playing in just semi-pro amateur football with family. I had 3 cousins and 3 brothers in the same team, owned by my mother, and she sold me to a semi-pro club at that time.
We've got some great stories. Now, one of the stories that's in the actual article that Steve's talking about, it says at the age of 23, after 7 years in the South American. I'll get it right. What's happening to South African Premier League? We've gone all around the world, from South Australia to South America and then to South Africa. You played professionally for 7 years in the SA Premier League, and then you sustained a serious leg injury when you were run over by a forklift. Now, was this probably a rival player that wanted to get back at you or anything like that?
No, it was just me not paying attention. Simple as that. On the cargo bay and run over. And I was on crutches for ages. Came back, just try to get back into it. Just was never the same player again. Everything happens for a reason. During those times while I was on crutches, the club introduced me to, back then it was Highlands Park I was playing for. The club introduced me to coaching, and I took on under 6 group and fell in love with coaching. So that was the start of me focusing on my coaching career. But everything happens for a reason, honestly speaking.
Yeah. And do you find that you bring some of the spirit of the South African football community across to Australia with you still today? Is there something special about football over there that maybe we don't have here?
Um, um, well, South Africans, to be bluntly honest and totally honest, South African football is a lot of showboating and trickery and stuff like that. We saw Australia play a very disciplined brand of football. And that's one thing that I think in my early years coming to Australia, I didn't adapt as well because I still had that bit of South African mentality behind me, the African ways. And once I got a hang of things, I slowly started improving. And I guess you can't, sometimes the flair is nice to introduce, but it all depends on the type of players you have and the culture of the country that you're moving into. It's just so different. You can't try and bring South African style here and vice versa. It's just won't work.
Now, Dale, most men involved in football have to, beg their wives to get away to go to watch a game or be involved in coaching or have to, make up to them in the off season and what you're not. But you've got a soccer mad wife, you've got a soccer mad family, and you guys are so passionate about the sport. Supposedly, you were married on a soccer pitch and you met your wife. Tell us the story. This is a fascinating story of a real soccer mad family. And I bet there's not too many families like this in Geelong, that's for sure. Tell us the story.
Yeah, we met at Indoska, and I met her through she was a current South African women's national team coach who I knew. And when I walked into the arena, she called me over to the table, and she's going to kill me for this. But anyway, all the girls scattered from the table and went to go sit in a small group opposite the table, and the only place left for me to sit was next to Giselle. And yeah, that's all she wrote. Yeah, she set me up.
Yeah.
Is it true that when you proposed to her, she thought you were going in for a slide tackle?
Close enough. Yeah, we got married on the soccer field. Actually, it was at one of my clubs. When I coached a women's pro side, we actually got 3 consecutive promotions to get into the pro. We got married on the soccer field there at Luso, Africa. And our reception, even our confetti were little soccer balls.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Fantastic. That is a great story. And a big shout out to Giselle, you see her in the, all around the region as well. And I know they've been trying to get her to play football for the Barwon senior women's team, and she's donned the boots from time to time. And it's a great story, great family. And your boy, he's doing really well at North Geelong Warriors. Is that right? In the second?
Yeah, well, he's had a very rough season. He's only played probably about a month this season. He ruptured his ligaments. Begsy called him up to train with the seniors. He ruptured his ligaments a couple sessions in, rested it off, came back first training again, rested again. So he's off at the moment. So he's actually going to go see the physio again tomorrow. So he's had a very rough year. Just when things are looking bright and promising, Begsy seemed to have given him an opportunity to train with the seniors and see where that takes him. And yeah, the Harris curse.
Oh no!
Hopefully that turns around. That turns around soon for him. But one thing that doesn't need turning around is your fortunes with the senior team there at Barwon this season, sitting on top of the league. How are you enjoying the football this season?
Loving it. What a fantastic group to actually work with. Abundance of talent, really incredible individuals, and we slowly started to click as a unit. We've had a few games where we struggled, but the boys have showed their character in the end and come through really nicely. It's an easy bunch to coach. Playing a good brand of football at the moment. Everyone's working for each other. There's a bit of friendly competitions on the field, especially between Milton and Christian. There's friendly banter. The boys are once again one big united family. So happy days. Couldn't be happier as a coach.
How many goals have they scored? Milton's now probably undisputedly the leading goal scorer in the region, simply in the number of goals scored. Is it 14, 15 at the moment?
14 for Milton, and I think Chris 10. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well done. Fantastic.
Yes.
We've got a handful of players around the region that have hit their double figures, and as we approach the halfway mark of the season, now you've also picked up some recent players as well. You had Anthony Thomas, the captain from last year. He was out for 7 months, so he had a serious injury, but he's getting over it, so he should be back shortly.
Yeah, he starts training with the tomorrow, and he's ready to go. He's a fantastic player, fantastic leader. Even now that since he's been injured, he's been helping the coaching staff, coaching the reserves, just motivating the boys in the change room, giving them a verbal lashing when they needed to. He's a complete footballer. He's an all-rounder. On and off the field, he's just a born leader.
Yeah, and the average age of your team as well, it's, from what I understand, like just a lot of young players. You seem to be very good at not only working with young players, but attracting them to come and play, despite they might have ability they might think is even superior to State League 5. But it looks like you're going to get this young group and take them out of State League 5 anyway. What's your secret to attracting all these good young players?
Like I said, the last time, treat a player right, will always come around, eh? Just jokes aside. No secret to it. No promises. Just promise to give them an opportunity if they prove themselves. And sometimes that's all that a youngster needs. And if he does get the opportunity and he does well, you stick with him. You show a bit of faith in the youngsters and they'll show faith in you.
Now, Dale, obviously at any club, you're as good as the people around you and the people that support you. And there's a good photo there of some of the people that are quite influential there at the club. Colin Drain, the president, on the far left, and then second from right, legendary Dave Rea, who's the the founder of the club as well, and he was a president for so many years. Mate, some of the support staff. Here's an opportunity maybe to give them a bit of a plug. Who are some of the people that have really helped you over the last 5 years at Barwon Soccer Club and continue to do so?
Well, obviously it's Dave. Dave Ray's been is absolute legend. Colin Drain as well. We've all got a very, very good relationship. Elise Lindell's helped us down the tracks as well, as come on board as a physio helping the seniors out. Andrew Duff also been fantastic. Andrew Conti, who's actually in hospital right now, and speedy recovery there. Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. He does so much for the club. He's team manager. He does the VO system. He drives the team bus. He pumps the soccer balls. He's just. I don't know. I'll struggle to run the team without him around. He makes light work for all us coaches. There's Wayne Thomas, who's been incredible. He's in charge of the development squad, and then I've got my assistant there, Kieran Robinson, who's also a very good friend of mine from the Rangers days. We played together at Rangers. So yeah, there's a lot to name, and I probably will forget a few, but the club has been, as a whole, very, very, very supportive.
And what other plans? Sorry, Steve, you go first.
I was going to ask quickly about Adam Leather going in for losing the dreadlocks in the world's greatest shave that's just coming up. He's going to look like yourself after that.
Yeah.
How do you think he'll go? He's going to raise a bit of money. Has he got a special story behind that as well?
No, it's not that I'm 100% aware of. He just spoke to me on Saturday. He came to speak to me, and he just says he needed a change and he needed a good cause to help him make that decision. He's chosen, I think it's a cancer that he's donating his money to. And he's going to do it after the Deacon game, which is going to be a special day for the club as well, because he was part of the 2017 squad in my first year. They won the league and cup. So They're all going to be guests of honor in that day, and he's going to do it there. And we're going to auction off his locks. First, if you want to cut off a piece of his locks, you're going to auction off. So just a bit of fun and games. I love his locks, though. I love his locks. My mother's going to be so mad.
Are you going to
I might-
put in a bid, Dale?
My mother's going to be so mad. She's got a huge crush on him.
No. Well, he's following in the footsteps. Where all the truths are coming out here today, aren't they? Goodness me. He's following the footsteps of Tom Langman, the Surf Coast captain, and Connor McGrath from Lara United, who have also done something similar in recent months, I guess. Mate, thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. It's been a great chat. It's been really fantastic to just get an insight into genuinely dead set one of the nicest blokes in Geelong soccer, Geelong football, and we wish you all the very best, mate. And hopefully you're going to at the end of the season you'll be enjoying promotion to State 4 and with the boys, and it's well deserved if you do, but still a long way to go until then.
Thank you so much, guys. Great show. You guys are doing a fantastic job for Geelong community, and thank you.
Good on you,
Thanks very
Dale.
much,
All the
Dale.
very best.
So, yeah.
Cheers.
Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show, episode 83. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the Geelong Region Soccer Show, and you will catch up on any of our missed shows. There's 4 seasons worth. There are some absolutely iconic interviews that we've collected over the years, and tonight's interview with Dale Harris certainly, I think, Steve, will go amongst
no
them.
exception. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, on a personal note, I do have to thank a lot of the clubs around Geelong. As some of you know, I moonlight and write for the Geelong Advertiser, and that's thanks to the clubs lobbying along with Football Victoria, the Geelong Advertiser. And look, we don't do it for personal recognition or anything like that. Rather, I actually want to acknowledge the clubs in this particular case: Geelong Rangers, Barwon Soccer Club, Lara United, amongst others, and there are other clubs as well. But these clubs just probably in the last week have actually put some social media acknowledgements, I guess. So it is nice to feel acknowledged. But I think the most important thing is our sport does get more publicity, does get more recognition. And look, over the next 12 months, as we approach the Women's World Cup here in Australia, I think we really do need to work together. And I was very disappointed with the federal elections just gone by that none of the clubs either approached the candidates or the candidates themselves have decided to sort of neglect the Geelong football clubs in the region. I don't think there was one football club in the wider Geelong region that will be the recipient of any of these, I don't know, what do you want to call it, election campaigning promises and this and that, whatever. Maybe later in the year we'll get a little bit more luck with the state elections, hopefully. But look, it's an important period, I think, and really Geelong football clubs need to work a lot more together off the field. When it comes to on the field, white line fever, it's the best team wins, but off the field we certainly need to work a lot more closer together. On that note, mate, I think we've come to the end of our show tonight.
Yeah, we have. That's about it. It's been a good show. And I guess on that note as well, if anyone's got any special milestones they'd like a shout out on Saturday afternoons at 2:30 on the Sideline View with Kevin Hillier on Bay FM, get in touch with us on Facebook or Twitter, or email us, smcurtain@gmail.com. Whatever you want to do, get in touch, and we might get your name read out on the radio as well. So can always do that for you. Just got to reach out.
And that's the other thing we have to say every Saturday afternoon is around about 2:00, tuning into Bay 93.9.
Yeah, 2:30.
2:30. And you always catch Steve. I was on my way travelling to the Geelong Rangers game, and I had the radio on, and there's the dulcet tones of Steve. And it's very comprehensive, mind you. You cover absolutely everything locally, so you do a great job. And not many people probably know just how good of an ambassador you are with that Saturday afternoon radio time slot. So kudos to you, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's a lot of fun, and always enjoy it.
Absolutely. All right, folks, good night. We will catch you again next Monday at 8 p.m. for a very special Surf Coast themed show. And that show is, that episode will be sponsored, as was tonight's episode, by Anytime Fitness Geelong. Time to get a workout, time to get moving. Good on you. Good night.
Good night.